we had a lot of guitars stolen from us.
No. Okay, let's put the word out. And maybe. So what happened?
So we were doing a headline tour, and we were driving through Spokane, Washington, and a bunch of guitars got stolen. Wow. And this was 5.5 years ago. And so one of the guitars that got stolen was the one that, it was this guy.
Oh, good segue. See?
Yeah, so this is the one that Fender made this for me when I was a kid, and it's just a 1960. I mean, it's the same neck as this guy, same pickups. It's the same everything. It's just pink, which was stemmed from the pink Cadillac. I'm a huge Elvis fan, so
sure.
This guitar was taken and missing for 5.5 years.
Wow.
So this is a guitar I had for all the Jeff Beck tours. Like when we played with Aerosmith, Steven Tyler wrote pink. It's like red, but not quite on the back. They sanded that off. Like we got to induct Steve Cropper into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and I was afraid I was going to mess up the lyrics to Midnight Hour, so I wrote them right here. You can still see like a couple, but they sanded that off. And a guitar shop called River City Guitars in Spokane found it for me, bought it, and sent it back to me.
Oh, God.
This is recently.
Wow.
So this was my main guitar, and it's a custom shop, 60 reissue.
Yeah, does it feel pretty similar to
it feels, obviously it's got more frets on it because the frets have been worn down significantly on that, but I mean it feels amazing and it sounds incredible. These are some of the best single coils I've ever heard.
And they're true single coils. And 60 cycle thing, does it bother you very much, or?
I kind of like it, and I'll tell you why. Sure. I remember like hearing Beck for the first time when I was a kid, and when they flipped his amps on and I heard zzz, I was like, oh, I know it's coming. Like like it's just an artifact that I think is cool.
Yeah. It is part of the tone. I mean, it is part of it. I get it.
It's part of the thing. I mean, most of my Strats now have humbuckers in them.
Yeah.
And but I can't bring myself to put a humbucker in this because I just love it.
Right.
And obviously the same with the original one. But it was cool. I took this one to the custom shop years ago with the original 60, and that's kind of where this one came from.
God, so great.
And it was missing for 5.5 years. How crazy is that?
Wow. It really kind of gives you some faith in humanity that something like that comes back to you.
No, it does. I mean, I checked Craigslist and eBay and everything so often, and then finally I get a call from a guy that goes, I'm 99.9% sure I'm holding your guitar. And he and I like said, like, what are some of the defining marks? Does it have this and this on the back? He's like, nope, looks like someone sanded that off. And I was like, what's the serial number? So whoever stole it didn't change the back plate, which would have been an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's Pinky 1.
That's like Thief 101. You change the serial number.
Yeah. So that's Pinky 1, which brings us to then this guitar has kind of become my main one. When this guitar was stolen, my parents, my dad works in a factory, my mom's a school teacher, they like borrowed some money, pulled some cash together, and they bought me this guitar. And
that's great.
It's so I didn't realize how much it meant to me until I took the pickguard off and I realized that my parents had like carved their names on the inside.
Oh,
and so it's kind of got a lot of personal sentimental value. And someone made this pickguard for Graham and made the mistake of sending it to my house. So I put it on. Tim Shaw made this pickup for me.
Oh.
So it's just a really stellar humbucker.
That's great. Like the Shawbuckers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I
he's great. Dude's amazing.
He's truly epic. And I played one of those like Fender American Elite, like one of the like production model things. And I liked the humbucker so much that I went and reached out to Tim Shaw, and he made me a version of that. Yeah,
it's great. I think part of the secret of that is that they're not overly powerful. So you get, I don't know, and maybe even a little microphonic. They make them very
I think
alive.
the Shawbuckers are absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Tim's great, man.
Yeah.
And he was back in Gibson during the day, during kind of a golden age of
doing
Gibson.
The PAFs.
Right. So, yeah, it's cool to see people go from one amazing company to another. And
so this guitar took the brunt of, when this one got stolen, we were just kind of amping up on touring.
Sure.
So this guitar was the one for like, all of the AC/DC, all the Guns N' Roses, like.
Oh, and you guys are out all the time.
We're on the road so much.
Yeah, and it's a little deceiving because you're in Europe so often.
Yeah.
That's a great way to do it. Like, disappear there, And then when you get back to the States, people were like, yeah.
I know, yeah.
Nobody ever gets tired of you because you're...
We've had to try to tour more in the States because we've been over there so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one kind of, just took the brunt of it. It didn't come looking like this, which is another, like you get all the Instagram guys being like, why did you drag your guitar behind your mom's car, dude? Like, that looks lame. But it's just from doing 280 shows,
right. High mileage.
like in 380 days, essentially,
Yeah, I mean, there is no substitute for just like mileage.